Welcome back to Prepper Talk Radio. My name is Shane, and I'm here with Scott, as usual. And I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas weekend, which is very nice to have Christmas on a weekend, I think.
Booyah. Except for the snow part.
Well, that's true.
Almost
you got
20 inches of snow up on the bench.
on Christmas Day.
And we were about to leave to go to my mother-in-law's for the Christmas dinner. And I was just appalled at the snow. I was pissed.
See, we in Utah County only got about 3 inches.
Everyone I know
on
in
the
like
benches.
Salt Lake got about 4 or 5 inches. And then Bountiful, it was
You got
about
pounded.
15 inches up. And then as you went higher on the bench, it was like 18, 19. When I was cleaning it off, it was about 18 inches. And the snow plow, little jerk,
Just
he
very
nods at
covered you in
me
there.
as he cleans his blade off in my driveway.
What?
He pulls forward and flips his blade out and clears it all right in my driveway. Nods and drives off. And
There
I'm
you
like,
go, buddy. Left that for
I
you.
almost
Just for you.
saluted him with the middle finger. I was so pissed. I was like, are you kidding me?
So how do you prepare for that kind of snow, Scott, up there on the bench?
Well, you know, I need to be better at that. We actually made sure we had our extra shovels, our extra ice melt, and I still need to take my snowblower in to get serviced.
Because you face east, so you need your ice melt.
Oh yeah, because you don't get a whole lot of sunlight because the mountain's right there.
Yeah, and I face north, so I need my
You
snow
need a
melt,
ton of-
ice melt
ton
as
of it.
well. So
But survived it. You know, I was a few times I was slipping and sliding everywhere, but I got yak tracks for Christmas.
oh, nice.
Those things are awesome.
Yes, those are cool.
Shout out to my sister-in-law who got those for me. Best gift I could have gotten.
So yak tracks are the grips, the kind of like a crampon, but a much tamer version of a crampon that go on the bottom of your shoe so you don't slip on the ice.
Yeah, basically they've got the
Rubber.
standard issue one, which is kind of coils over rubber, metal coils over rubber, and that gives you some grip. And then they've got the pro version, which has the coils and also has little pegs, steel pegs
Okay.
that pop out the bottom, so it
A
gives
little
you
more
cleats.
aggressive that way.
And that's what I got, and I love them. They're
And to save you
I need 'em.
from a head injury.
You know, it's funny because in the snow, I've actually fallen 3 times in the last week and a half
Oh, really?
from ice and slush.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas Eve dinner up in Ogden, coming down my brother's steep driveway. It was snowing and slushing. It was like not sure if it was raining, not sure if it was sleeting,
Yeah.
not sure if it was snowing. Like it kept changing. And walking down the steep driveway, I lost it a few times. So thankfully, I had my our sponsor, Survival Medical,
Had your
first
medical
aid
kit with
kits. Pulled out my cold pack and put it on my hip the whole drive home.
Oh, okay, nice.
Needed that.
Really?
Oh yeah.
At least
My
you didn't
hip
land on
still
your
hurts.
head, right?
Well, I landed on my hip one time. I landed on my elbow, shoulder, and head the other time. That was actually the first time. And that was less painful than my hip. So apparently I'm getting old, and my head is still pretty thick-skulled.
Well, we
But,
all think we're invincible as we get older,
Absolutely.
and we're definitely not immune to those small injuries. So definitely check out survival-medical.com. You should have one of their buckets alongside your other buckets in your storage room,
Absolutely.
under the pails.
Absolutely.
Like the Bravo bucket, the Alpha bucket, or the Birth bucket, which I have in my storage as well. So
We've got one of those, too, just in case. Because, you know, with the baby due in May,
you never know.
you got to have all your options covered.
You may get snowed in May, right?
I hope not.
Anyway, welcome to the show. Thank you for listening. And this is our we can call it our wrap up the year show and get ready for next year's show. So today we want to talk about, kind of continue the topic of last week, where we were talking about kind of the big things that
darker
could, the
scenarios.
darker scenarios that could occur. And we're going to talk, I guess, a little bit more about that, what could come in 2017. But I wanted to also start out by me looking back at 2016 a little bit. How did your preps help you to be this last year? How did being a prepared person, someone who's prepared, how did it help you out, or how did it help someone else out this past year? And it doesn't have to be anything big. I know, Scott, you have your example of the car crash you helped out with. You were able to stop and had your supplies. For me, I guess a quick little simple example, just this last week, I was in a public place, and a lady had fallen in a bathroom and apparently passed out and hit her head and was bleeding all over the place. And there were plenty of people on site. There was an off-duty police officer as well as a ER surgeon, but who had the first aid kit and who had the 4x4 pads? Me.
Yep.
So even though I wasn't, former EMT, wasn't there and actually able to help, there were plenty of other people to help, but I had what they needed. So
You didn't need to be the hands-on resource, but
correct.
you were the supplement resource
That's
where you
correct.
provided all the materials and tools. And that's why I have my big first aid kits. I can't use it all. You know, I'm learning it, but the value of having it when you need it, and if
exactly.
there's someone else around that can use it, kudos.
And also, obviously in that situation, a bandage could have been improvised.
Yeah.
But how much more convenient and comforting is it to have the right supplies, the right things with you, and the knowledge how to use them? That's a big part.
Well, another fun thing this year is we actually pulled out our food storage and used it for a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Partly because we're between paychecks. You know, being a radio host does not pay the bills.
No, it does not.
Being in the preparedness market, it's not a big income. It's by any means. But between that and real estate, bouncing those two, there's a couple times a year where I go without a paycheck, and so food storage is the saving grace during that time. And so we broke out our food storage, actually our freeze-dried food storage, which I try to use throughout the year. And it's funny because I was like, I've got more of this specific product. I'm like, where the heck is it? I couldn't find it. Well, we'd moved and we left it at my old house. Thankfully, that's my sister-in-law's basement. We rented out, but I couldn't find it for the life of me. Finally, she checked and found it, and I was just like, I was so happy because it's my favorite sausage. I've got freeze-dried sausage, and I put it in my spaghetti. I put it in my breakfast burritos. I just use it all the time, and I'm like, where's my sausage? And so I was eating sausage-free breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it was sad, but you know what? Food storage worked out great. It helped a lot.
Yeah. That's a good idea. That's a really good idea.
So I think there's a bunch of our listeners I know for sure that have had challenges this year where their preparedness skills have actually helped pay off for them.
Yeah.
So if you want to call in and share a story that you've experienced in 2016, as we wrap up the year, give us a call. Let us know what you did with your either skills or surplus. The number is 801-254-5855. Give us a call.
Yeah,
it's been an awesome year.
Yeah, how you've seen that being more prepared has helped you in your life in whatever manner. And it's not just in, I helped this person or I had this stuff or whatever, but it's a mindset as well. How has it helped you get through maybe difficult times?
Well, I think a lot of people, especially outside of Utah, there's two major populaces of preppers. And one of them, it's kind of tongue-in-cheek. I'm calling them preppers, and I don't think they really are. But there's your typical prepper. And they think there's kind of that three-phase of evolution within preparedness where you think first of yourself, and then you start thinking of your immediate family and extended family, and then you get to the third phase, which is the community. And start thinking, okay, what can I do to better help prepare my community? What can I be working on? How can I be a resource? Who else can I help? Where you really start thinking about other people more often than not. And I think ideally that's where everyone should be, should be working towards. But then there's that other group that call themselves preppers that are more looters, active militia looter groups.
They're more introverts.
And I'm meeting more and more of these online, and it appalls me because they're taking the skills, the mindsets, and then the networking that we're doing to create community response groups, and they're targeting the preppers, and they call themselves preppers as well. And it's really boiled my blood. It's really pissed me off.
Yeah, I think one thing that we all need to realize is that as we become more self-sufficient, more aware of our surroundings, at least I realize more how I need to depend on others. And going and taking their stuff is definitely not a way to depend on others.
Yeah.
It's the complete opposite. So create those community bonds and those ties. And really, I think that's a great goal for 2017.
Oh, yeah.
Is try and focus on either building a group or just making those connections. It doesn't have to be a formal group of any kind, but make those connections, those friendships, those bonds to where when you come into difficult times, you can all rely on each other.
I think even just an accountability group. Kind of like when you go on a diet, you get a group of people that are working together towards the same goal. Help each other stay accountable. Same thing with preparedness.
That's a good idea.
I think it's brilliant. I've actually created one for ham radio because I've been working on this for a year and a half now, and I need to focus more. So I've kind of created a small group that they're getting on my case all the time, and it's wonderfully horrible. Because they're like, hey, have you taken a practice test this week? And I'm like, no. So that's my big thing is I'm going to take on less projects, and I'm going to actually focus on getting a few key things done this year. That's my focus. I'm going to get my ham radio done before April. I'll have my license. So you heard it on air here on K-Talk.
We'll hold you accountable to it.
Hold me
We'll
to
be
it.
your accountability group.
I'll throw out my call sign or call letters, whatever it is.
Kilo Charlie 7 Delta Tango Victor.
Yeah, that. I'll throw that out as soon as I get it.
That's me, KC7DTV. So if you see me around with my license plate, turn on your ham and give me a shout out. KC7DTV. So for 2017, what can we expect? And I think that's a big question. I mean, that's a huge question.
It's a loaded question.
It is a loaded question. Of course, I meant it to be a loaded question. But and I kind of wanted to continue a little bit on what we were talking about last week. But we've got a caller. I got a couple of callers here. Let's go ahead and take them. Let me turn your phone lines on here. Here we go. All right, caller, what's your name? What did you want to talk about?
Oh, I'm sorry. Just off the air, I need to have the telephone number for the Survival Medical or the how to go ahead and order a kit.
Well, let's look. We're going to look that number up for you real quick for Survival Medical. But it's survival-medical.com. But if you don't have internet, Scott is...
Talk more slowly.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do talk too fast. I apologize.
Yeah, you do.
And so I've got a lot in my mind. Scott's looking up the number now for Survival Medical, but survival-medical.com. And we'll give that to you on the air. How does that sound?
Great. Thank
All right,
you.
you bet. Thank you.
Talk more slowly.
All right, we'll do. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, I will learn to talk more slowly. All right, so as well, Scott's looking up that phone number. I want to talk about, we got another phone call. Let's take this call. Hello, caller. What's your name and what's your topic?
Yeah, the name is Bob, and the topic is some of my past experience with preparation.
Fantastic. Go right ahead.
Well, just to throw they had a caller, you had a caller, being K-Talk, about 2 weeks ago that said that, he, between his economic circumstance and work and family and everything, he was unable to put anything away.
Mm-hmm.
And I would talk about our experience in this eons ago. We were able to put some wheat away. Later on, when we were hard up between jobs and with 4 children at home and mom, we had to rely on that wheat.
Mm-hmm.
And I might add that we had a big lab too. But
Mm-hmm.
whatever else,
Yeah.
we got the wheat that which we had stored in galvanized cans was relatively intact, and we had some others that had been stored in paper bags. I mean, they were what they called overseas shipment bags. They had, several layers of heavy paper and moisture barrier and the rest of it. But apparently there'd been weevil in it, and it punched holes in the bags, and then that had invited mice and the rest of it. Hey, even that wheat, when we opened it up, obviously there was a lot more chaff in there, mouse droppings and all the rest.
Wonderful.
Hey, we were trying to figure, how to manage between the two. We took the wheat that had been infested. We put it in a pressure cooker. We didn't have to pressure cook it, because when we put it in the water, the chaff floated to the top all right.
Mm-hmm.
And also the mice droppings. That might sound surprising, but apparently their specific gravity, having dried out and such, was such that we could just whip it, skim the top, and get rid of it. However, the kids didn't consider it sanitary, but in our experimentation, we ran that through what they call a little hand mill crank grinder.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and set it for a coarse grind where the stones weren't even touching each other, and it turned out sort of a finer cracked wheat, all right?
Now, we are coming into a break there, but, thank you for bringing
Can I
that
hold?
up. You sure can. We'll have you hold over onto the break, and thanks for listening to Prepper Talk Radio. Of course, we are brought to you by Survival Medical. Do you have that number, Scott?
Yeah, the number for Survival Medical is 208. What just went away? 538-9531. That's 208-538-9531. We'll be right back after a message from our other sponsors.
Okay, let's get right back at this. Welcome to Prepper Talk Radio. Thanks for listening. And we're going to bring our caller back on. Bob, let's give you 2 more minutes here, and then we need to move on to our topic. But thank you for your comments, Bob.
2 minutes. In any case, our experimentation was at 1 cup of wheat, and again, we cleared it, as explained before. Also, we found out that the bagged wheat, which it was still infested, had been left outside through a week of zero weather. It seemed to eliminate a lot of the nuisance. But, the insects that cause the nuisance. But whatever, that turned out to be good dog food. We found out that economically it was so much, the lab preferred it over so-called meaty dog food, the dry stuff. The big lab, he lived to be about 11 or 12, and we didn't know exact because we didn't know how old he was when we got him. Mm-hmm. Beautiful coat, beautiful health, and of course he got table scraps too, but whatever. And in order to convince the kids, we had used the pressure cooker, to experiment with that too, but we found out that it heated so evenly, the heavy aluminum bottom. From then on, we just used that to prepare it.
Fantastic.
Once a week, the kids would grind 5 pounds of wheat, and it would feed that big lab. I mean, he was 130 pounds. He was a big lab.
Yeah, that brings up a really great point. Is how do you prepare to take care of your animals in an emergency?
That, but I had to eat some of that to show the kids that it was sanitary. Mm-hmm.
And well, once it's heated up to boiling temperature, you can.
Oh yeah, we
had
brought it up
to
boiling, and then we simmered it for a half hour. All right.
Yep.
And it turned out just to be like good cracked wheat.
Cracked wheat,
cereal.
exactly, just like a good cracked wheat.
Perfect.
And consist in your life. Thank you very much for your call. We sure appreciate it, and we will.
Someday we'll finish up. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Feel free to call in anytime. All right, let's continue on with our topic here: how to prepare for 2017, or what to expect.
Yeah, I think our show direction was intended to go towards kind of what we feel is going to happen in 2017. Mm-hmm. The big things to look for. Mm-hmm. And I think watching the political spectrum right now.
Yep.
Watching what's going on with the Obama administration, with the Clinton camp, which is still at it, I'm actually pretty appalled right now at what's going on with our government.
Yep.
I mean, as a concerned citizen, and as for what to expect in the future, this is par for the course.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's on the top of my list. Excuse me, there. That's on the top of my list is political instability. Mm-hmm. Is that not just here in the U.S., but regionally and worldwide?
Oh, internationally.
Is really what's going to happen. Yeah.
Here's what we're doing. I've failed to see any media outlet provide any evidence to Russian hackers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Zero, right?
And yet you still hear on the news, we know that we're going to do something about it. We know Russia's been hacking, and we know they're going to do something about it.
Right, that's all we're hearing about.
Yep. And
so it just makes me sick that these claims are going out against Russia, who is the big bad brother, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, they're at times called an ally, at times called an enemy. But the reality of it is that we're poking a big bear. Mm-hmm. We're a bear as well. But we're poking the other big bear. Mm-hmm. And we keep poking him, thinking...
And it's being done intentionally.
Yeah. And so there's an intentional divide being created there. But that's on the international level. Then you look at all the economic trade situations going on. Any number of things is going to go crashing soon, as far as financial trade.
Exactly. This is really all tied to economic and financial collapse. Is really what this. It's another phase of that collapse. Is this political instability? Is what it is. So, how do we prepare for this coming year, Scott?
Well, I think the biggest thing is go back to basics on your own personal preparedness. Mm-hmm. Focus more on getting aware of what's going on, And in addition to that, getting your surplus ready and making sure you know how to use it. For example, the gentleman Bob, knowing you can boil your wheat, you can throw it all in water and everything's going to rise except for your wheat, and then you can boil it and make cracked wheat. Now there's other ways to clean it before then as well, but I think the key takeaway though is make sure you have stuff and you know what to do with your stuff, because otherwise it's just dead weight. Otherwise it's your own demise. If you've got a ton of stuff and don't know what to do with any of it or most of it, you need to know what to do with most of it. And so it's back to the basics of skill development, learning skills, focusing on skills. Communication is going to be key, because as we're moving into 2017, we're going to see more and more and more disinformation, especially from the major media outlets. International news is actually, I think, more on point than what our own national news is. If you go to the BBC, I feel like they're reporting better than what our nation is. If you go to the smaller stations, the smaller groups, K-Talk, I hear more breaking news on K-Talk than I do anywhere else here in Utah. So it's quite impressive to me. But the fact of the matter is there's so much disinformation, and now with this new executive order that got pushed through, Christmas Eve, now the CIA and the NSA have more control over what is true news and what's not. I'm like, how does that help the American people?
Yeah, and we also see that Google is throttling sites. They're whitewashing sites. They're in your search, when you're searching for particular topics, they're not allowing you to find the news that you're looking for.
Well, and same with Facebook.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can share something now, and it'll be whitewashed to your public.
Because it's not advertiser friendly.
Well, it's not advertiser friendly, but it's also disinformation. They look at it as disinformation for their agenda. Facebook has an agenda, and if you're not paying attention to it, I'm not going to get into it, but it has a huge agenda.
Yeah.
It's a great resource for staying connected with people, but it's a horrible resource for finding truth. There's a lot of crap on there, and it's more media driven and more marketing driven than anything else. So stay away from it.
Yeah.
Sites that I really enjoy that I feel like have more true information, of course, WikiLeaks, and of course, Drudge Report. Those are, I think, two of the more honest and capable news sources out there than anywhere else.
Agreed. Yeah, absolutely. So, moving forward into 2017, the way to prepare for this disinformation campaign, this it's propaganda, by our own government, is to, in my opinion, ignore it. I mean, just turn everything off, ignore it, and find the sites that you feel that have good news quality, like this one. Like, what we should do more, Scott, on PrepperCon and Prepared Guy is post more of that actual real news.
Well, I have, and it's been blocked.
Okay.
I've actually shared videos on both channels.
On Facebook.
And I've uploaded them and pushed send, and within 30 minutes, they're gone.
They're gone.
Like, completely gone. I can't even see that I posted it anymore. So I've had that personally happen to me, and then at one time I did that, and I got locked out of Facebook for 7 days.
Wow.
I was in Facebook jail. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
But that's we're going to see more of that happening as true media gets shared. They're trying to say we're spreading disinformation, when in reality we're finding good credible sources, we're finding good credible news, and it's not the news they want shared. And so there's a big huge control mechanism. And it's all for profit and all for control.
Yep.
So I think we're going to see a lot more of that control and a lot more of that profitability margin going up in all the social media channels. We're going to have a bigger problem sharing and getting the right information. So you've got to do your homework. You've got to have your own resources that you can go to that are ones that are credible. And what's going to happen as a result of all this is we're going to see a bigger and bigger divide from man to man. What I mean by that is we're going to have less and less compassion for our fellow man.
And that's on my list as well, is kind of a societal division or civil unrest continuing. And over this weekend, the incident in the malls all through the country, you've probably seen, I think Paul talked about it a little bit as well, basically people attacking other people, just getting in fights and causing mild chaos is what I might call it.
Yeah, what we used to do is we'd look at a situation, someone offended us, we'd talk to them about it, or we'd let it roll off our back, right? We'd just shake our head and walk away.
Yeah, exactly.
And now everyone has this feeling that, no, I've been wronged. I must avenge my wrong, right? I must irrefutably destroy my competitor or my enemy. Everything's gone from my brother to my enemy.
You can't coexist. We just, need to eliminate each other.
It's sad. We're going to see more of that in 2017. There is an absolute agenda being pushed that's focusing on that, focusing on, dissolving those relationships, creating unrest, a big polarization shift to the government will save us and fix us from ourselves. We're going to see more and more of that propaganda being pushed. I would not be surprised if there's a major shuffle in our presidential cabinet after January 20th.
Afterwards. Oh, yeah.
I think in January after the 20th, we're going to see some major things shuffle. I'm not going to make any exact predictions because I'm not a prophet. I'm not
from what Trump has
visionary.
already started to outline in his cabinet. Is that what you're referring to?
I just don't think that his cabinet's going to.
It's not going to.
Without going too deep, I just don't know that he has that good of a chance of survival.
Of being successful.
Yeah. Him or his cabinet. I look at TV shows like the. It's the new one with Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh yeah, and that's part of the propaganda campaign is putting out these different shows, and you can see all the different
Designated
shows.
Survivor.
There we go.
There's definitely a backbone to that says, okay, this is a scenario that could happen. Why are they pushing it so much, and why is it being marketed
to
so well?
rely more on the government.
Well, so people realize, okay, we do have a fragile government, we do have a fragile economy, we do have a fragile nation, and that there are powers to be that are going to swoop in and take control
and save us.
To save us. And they're looking at this TV show as a propaganda to show us how to be saved and how to just say, okay, our government will take care of us even if the government's gone.
So how do we take care of ourselves? That's the big question. What we want to answer today is, okay, this is what we should look forward to in 2017, but how can we prepare for that? That's the more important part is. And when I kind of say, okay, let's ignore this topic. Let's be aware, but then ignore it. But we shouldn't ignore the other side of being, how do we prepare for it? So we look at this financial calamity potentially coming, political calamity, which is all kind of the same thing. How do we become more independent and prepare for that? And here are a few of my little tips, I guess you could say.
Sure.
First of all, get yourself out of the system. Get yourself out of the banking system. Get yourself out of any of these systems that are less reliable, that are fragile. And not get yourself out completely. You've got to have a banking account. I mean, that's how you pay your bills. And as we go to a cashless society, it's going to be more and more so. But how you need to disconnect yourself as much as possible from that system. And the way to do that is by having cash, by having assets.
I'm going to argue against that a little bit.
Go for it.
I wouldn't disconnect yourself. I would disinvest yourself, meaning you've got to diversify. You've got to have real coin, real gold, real silver. You've got to have real tangible, tradable items as well. By pulling out of the bank completely, you're not connected, right? If there becomes a situation where we're a cashless society and all of a sudden your gold and your silver is not tradable, which can happen.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
The government can, like they did in World War II, they said, okay, everyone with gold, we're going to confiscate it to make our economy better. The government can do those types of things. However unlawful it is, there's always that possibility. So you need to be diversified enough that you've got a reserve in different ways and in different places.
You have to play the game.
Yeah. You have to play the game, but play it wisely, play it strategically. Keep a little bit of money, just enough money in the bank.
Yeah.
Right. I would pull your 401ks and your IRAs. If you haven't already done it, get them out.
I agree.
Move them into a self-directed, self-managed IRA.
There we go.
Where you've got, transfer it into gold, into commodities, things that you can invest in that you can hold.
And obviously, these are our opinions. We're not financial advisors or anything like that. So.
And these are not the opinions of
K-Talk
either.
Radio. That's correct.
These are the opinions of one man and another man sitting in a room yelling into microphones.
That's right. So. I think only as we move forward, it's only going to get worse. And I think that's the main thing we need to understand is just because Trump is coming in and hopefully going to make a lot of great changes to the system, don't count on it.
Yeah, don't count on it at all. I mean, we have to become, as individuals and as communities, we need to become anti-fragile. Mm-hmm. One of the things I love about living in Utah, there's a lot of things I like. There's a few things I don't like. One of the things I love is we've got a very stable economy because we're more conservative in our spending.
And the state is very responsible in how it spends money. I mean, relatively,
resource management in Utah
yes.
is absolutely impressive compared to other places I've lived. Specifically,
we have
when I lived in Arizona and when I lived in California, it went from bad to horrible. When I moved to California, I was like, are you kidding me? Expletive, kidding me. It was so horrible to watch the economy fluctuate so badly. And one day it's okay, we're going to furlough everybody for a week that's government jobs, and then we're furloughing everybody on Saturdays
because
and
everything
Fridays
operates on debt.
Yeah, it was absolutely a shambles economically, and the governments all the way down to the very cities were mismanaged. Funds were being lost all the time.
And I think that something to take away from that is that get your own personal finances into order. Stay out of debt, get out of debt, save for a rainy day, and live within your means.
Right.
And for me and my family, we're calling 2017 the year to make do or do without. So it's the year of saving. It's the year we're going to, because my daughters work. We all have little side jobs and little side businesses where we are going to save like mad. And when I say saving, it's not just, okay, I'm putting cash in the bank. No, that's not what saving is to me. Saving is, okay, yes, I need some cash on hand, but I also am going to put that hard-earned money, hard-earned currency into a tangible asset of some sort.
Yeah, you're investing in yourself and your ability to bounce back.
That's correct. Whether it's silver, which is somewhat liquid. If I need cash and I need currency, then I can go and sell that and get some currency, or into actual physical assets, which could be a number of things, which we can talk about a little bit after the break.
Let's keep going on this topic.
Yeah. And thank you for listening. I think that's the biggest concern right now is the financial stability of the nation, political stability. And our sponsor is Survival Medical, survival-medical.com, the only first aid kit. Slow down. Only first aid kits designed for long-term storage.
That's survival-medical.com.
Thank
awesome
you.
Stuff.
Thanks for listening.
The all-new K-Talk Media. Online at ktalkmedia.com.
I recently met with a homeowner who was ready to retire but felt trapped in his job because his retirement funds had gone down substantially over the last few years, and he needed the income from his job to make payments on his home. In reviewing his options, he realized a reverse mortgage would pay off his current loan, give him some money to take care of much-needed repairs, and eliminate his monthly mortgage payment completely. If you own your home, you're 62 or older, you may qualify for a reverse mortgage that will help you meet your retirement goals. I have years of experience helping Utah homeowners and will help you find the right solution for your financing needs. With a 10-minute call, I can help you find out how you qualify and how a reverse mortgage could help you. Call me today, Alan Blood, 298-5887. That's Alan Blood with Capital Financial, 801-298-5887, NMLS number 3146.
Come join us at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Sandy for New Year's weekend. Conveniently located at 10680 Auto Mall Drive in Sandy, Utah. Spend a romantic night away for just $94 with our New Year's package. December 30th, 31st, and January 1st. Go out and enjoy one of the many nearby activities, then come back to a clean, spacious king room with your choice of sparkling cider or champagne and a box of delicious chocolates. Or just spend the night in with your sweetheart. Your room includes a mini fridge, microwave that you can stuff full of goodies to enjoy. Take a dip in our 24-hour indoor pool, relax in our hot tub, or work out together in our fitness center. Enjoy a delicious complimentary hot breakfast in the morning. Our friendly associates are here to make this New Year's perfect. Call and book today. 801-495-1317. 495-1317. That's 801-495-1317.
Okay, we're going to come back from break here. As you can see, because I talk too fast, we have way too much to try and get in and get out of my head before it explodes.
So before you go any further, let me remind you of our awesome sponsor, survival-medical.com. Check them out. We had a caller ask earlier for that phone number.
We had a caller ask earlier for me to slow down, to talk slower. So I will do my best to try to do that.
And it's funny because you do talk very fast.
Yes.
And that number, for those of you who want it still, it's for survival-medical.com. The number is 208-538-9531. Products tougher than nature. These are the only first aid kits that I've ever seen that'll last up to 20 years.
They are excellent. I have one in my bag with me right now. So check them out.
Financial collapse.
Yes.
So
how to prepare.
You're thinking that's a major player in 2017?
I think it is our absolute biggest concern.
Okay.
Is financial instability, political instability, which is all really interconnected, interrelated.
Yeah, I mean they're all what's that game? Pick up sticks, right? They're all interconnected.
It's all Jenga.
Jenga, yeah, they're all interconnected. As soon as you move a few pieces enough, things are going to start toppling. It may not all topple at once, but we'll see some major changes.
Yeah, and some of the commentators I listen to say, "Oh, we're going to see a major financial calamity in 2017," which may be the truth. It may not be. So just be prepared for it.
And honestly, if you haven't been trying to be prepared for things, it might be.
Yeah.
The reality might be that it is far too late for you.
Yeah.
If
you're just getting started, if you're saying, okay, I'm going to buy a little bit at a time, which used to be the strategy, right? We used to go and grab a few extra cans as we're going to the store, as our budget allows. I'm going to grab a few extra cans of this and this and build up my supply in my cupboard, every time I go to the store.
Yeah.
And, keep doing that, please. Do that as much as possible. However, if that's your strategy, it may be too late. To pile up to get a full year's worth of food storage. If you don't have 2 weeks worth, get 2 weeks worth. If you don't have 3 months worth, fill your cupboards to have 3 months worth of the stuff you use every single day.
And the staple items are the safest way to go.
Yeah, I mean, like wheat, like Bob was
go
talking
get your
about.
wheat, go get your rice, go get your beans. The funny thing is rice is such a superfood that people pass by all the time. I mean, it's got so many different vitamins and minerals in it, but it's got proteins, and it's huge. That's a huge important
you've got to
thing.
have protein.
It's a staple that'll get you through in a survival scenario. So if you don't have stuff, if you got gift cards for Christmas, don't be a moron. Go get food storage with it. Go get water filters with it. Get started. Make a big dent. Don't make a tiny dent in your preparedness. Make a big dent.
And here's a couple of tips to go make a big dent. First of all, go to Costco, because that's where I shop. Or Sam's. But Costco has big 5-gallon buckets of wheat and oats.
There you go.
Great place to start. Oats, you boil them; they're quick. You get quick oats, you get the regular oats.
Same thing with wheat.
Fantastic.
You boil them, turn them to cracked wheat.
Yep. And go get a pail of rice. A little more expensive, but you can get a bucket of wheat at Costco for $17.
Yeah.
And that'll feed your family, for quite a while.
If you've got a few $100s to jump out on this,
do it.
I would highly recommend go online, find this is a fun resource. We found there's quite a few companies that are restaurant suppliers.
Yeah.
You can get way better pricing if you're willing to buy in a bigger bulk. So buying 200 pounds of rice for dirt cheap.
Right.
Buying 100 pounds of wheat, 100 pounds of oats. And they come in bags, and so you'll want to switch those into pails, and switch those into Mylar bags and pails, and that's what I'm working on now. But do those things, and you will thank yourself later, and maybe thank us for bringing it up. But the important thing is get it done.
Yeah. Another resource: go to your local LDS storehouse where they do canning and such, and you can buy anybody. You don't have to be a member LDS. You can go in and buy number 10 cans, and it's a lot less expensive than going to your local emergency supply store.
Yep.
And you can get your flour, you can get wheat, you can get sugar, all the basics, or a lot of the basics. Very inexpensive that way. Go buy a case.
And we're going to get into this more next week and the week after. We're going to kind of go back to prepping 101.
Yes.
So we're not going to spend a lot of time on that right now, but make a big dent, please, for the love of God. Go make a big dent in your preparedness. Get a backup battery system. Get a backup generator. Get something to hold you over. Right now, with winter being as cold as it is, 12, 15 degrees, sometimes colder at night. If your heat goes out, what is your plan? You can only bundle up so much. You've got to have a plan. If our economic collapse comes sooner than later, what is your plan? The big things I'm watching for in 2017 are, number one, an economic collapse. Number two, the startings of a civil war.
And you were talking about hacking last week a little bit too, about about cyber attack, which would hurt our infrastructure, which could compromise our ability to heat our homes,
security.
to cool our homes.
I mean, there's so many different things that can affect. The number one thing that cyber attacks are going after right now are information, so data, and infrastructure. Those are the two biggest things that I'm seeing that the cyber attacks are going after. And part of that is they're going after government agencies, but a lot of it, it's like, oh, Discover Card got hacked. Here's a new card. Here's new information. Oh, MasterCard got hacked. All these different accounts are getting hacked, and they're trying to pull as much information so they can grab money, grab resources, grab information and sell it to the next person. That's a huge threat that's only going to grow.
And my advice is, as I mentioned before, and I want to stick to it, get out of the system as much as you can. Get rid of your credit card, your debit card. I mean, you need your debit card, but you need to get out of the system as much as possible. And that's what I'm working on in 2017 as well. I need to be on Facebook for PrepperCon, for Prepared Guy, for what we do here at Prepper Talk Radio. But personally, I'm backing away from all the social media personally. And that's another thing. Don't share your personal information on social media, whether it's Facebook or family or whatever, because it can be used against you in the future.
Your friends already know where you went to school, where you grew up, and everything else. Take that off your social media. That's not important. All that is giving them aggregate information so that they can trend purchase power and stuff like that. And then it gives data for the hackers to go after, and you don't want them to have that information. Limit that as much as you can. Untag yourself from pictures that show too much. Don't be posting. I know it's hard this Christmas. Everyone's posting pictures of what they got for Christmas. Hello, are you kidding me? That's
Making
where
yourself a
your
target,
burglars are coming for. They're like, hey, that guy got a big screen TV. Also throwing out your garbage this week. Don't leave the big screen TV box next to the garbage can outside. Break it down. If you've got big items, expensive things,
great tips.
Break it down. Get rid of those because those make you a target.
Yeah. Oh,
Same
look what
thing
they
if you've
got for
tons
Christmas.
of
We're gonna
boxes
break
of
in
food
there.
storage for Christmas. Don't leave the boxes outside for someone to say, oh, wow, these guys have tons of resources. Put that on my list for later when things go bad.
And that's another great tip, I think, for 2017 to prepare is I think we're going to see increasing crime because the economy is going to continue to falter, and which means people need money to buy food or whatever, steal food or steal stuff from your home. So there are going to be more break-ins, more invasions. So secure your home.
And I think there's going to be a bigger war against the police than ever.
Okay.
And I think, and it saddens me because, my great-grandfather was a police officer, a sheriff, and then became a judge. He put it out every day. He was more of an kind of a Mayberry, Andy Griffin show type of sheriff. Yeah, he carried, but he was first and foremost focused on the person. What can I do to better this person's situation so that they don't commit a crime again? And I talked to my wife's grandfather was a corrections officer and a police officer before that. I've got a lot of friends and family that are in law enforcement, and the key is they're not intentionally out there to try to cause problems. They're there putting their lives on the line to try to fix them. Now, if you're a criminal and you're causing problems for them, you're causing problems for yourself first and foremost. So stop. Yeah. Don't make their jobs harder. Looks like we got a call.
Yeah, I'm going to pick up a call here.
Yeah.
Hello, what's your name? What do you want to talk about?
I wanted to talk about the food.
Yes, go right ahead.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to remind people that if you have small children or elderly, they will succumb to food fatigue and refuse to eat. So when you're getting your wheat, get some barley, get some quinoa, and like you said, rice and oatmeal. Make sure you've got a little sugar. Make sure you've got something that's an oil, preferably virgin coconut oil that's really good for you.
It stores longer,
but
too.
They will refuse to eat, and they'll just die right in front of your eyes if you have the same old wheat and water or whatever every time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for bringing that up. That's a fantastic point. Absolutely true. And I can see that in some of my kids, too, that if they don't want to eat it, they won't eat it, and they'll go hungry, and their body gets accustomed to that. Their stomach shrinks, and they don't feel hunger, and like you say, they can die from that. So
get a bunch of honey.
Honey is great.
Honey's great. It's a good additive. It's shelf stable,
And here's something to talk about real quick too. Is we talk about getting non-GMO stuff, but I think when it comes down to being prepared, don't worry about that. Don't just have something. Exactly. Have something. And if it's sugar, that's not pure cane sugar, that's non-GMO, which I try and store pure cane sugar, but just you got to have something.
If you don't, it's
Right,
better than nothing.
exactly. Start with something. Make sure you've got something to feed your children. Don't be part of the problem. Be part of the solution.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your call. I think one of the biggest things is get things that you know they're going to like as a treat as well.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Like we've got cans and cans of ravioli. I hate the stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but my wife loves it on occasion. You know, our kids, our nieces and
Like the
nephews love it.
SpaghettiOs? Type
SpaghettiOs,
Okay, yeah.
raviolis, you know, Chef Boyardee, all that stuff.
Exactly.
And
We've
that stuff
got Kraft mac
stores
and
for like 10 plus years.
We've
Exactly.
got-
Mac
yeah.
and cheese. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the kind of stuff I have in our food storage, our freeze-dried kind of
Yeah.
type storage is that stuff that the kids will eat. Because I eat what's left over. You know, whatever the kids don't
Right.
eat, that's what I end up
Right.
eating. So yeah, thank you for the call. Fantastic.
Even as adults, though, you know, when times are hard and you're like, oh, we got to pay the taxes,
Mhm.
property, or whatever, so we're just going to eat whatever's in the fridge or cupboard.
Mm-hmm.
Adults get food fatigue. We're like, I don't
Yeah.
think so. I'm not going to eat. I'm fine.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
That's a
anyway,
great point.
thank you so much.
thank you for the
Love your
call.
show.
Thank you.
And my condolences to Mills Crenshaw's
Yes,
family.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the call.
Have a good year.
You too. Thank you. Oh, excellent call.
That was awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's something that oftentimes, you know, we don't talk about it enough
Mm-hmm.
because we're trying to get people starting off on the basics.
Just to get
but
started.
Get something. But yeah, it's such an important thing to get a variety
Mm-hmm.
and focus on the things your family will eat.
And that's
If
why
you
I
won't
really
eat
advocate.
Like I think a lot of people will put too much stock in wheat
Mm-hmm.
and they've never made bread.
Yeah.
You know, or they don't know how to even
never
make
eaten
cracked
cracked
wheat.
wheat
It's really
or
easy to
whatever,
do,
yeah.
but they've never done it. But they'll buy, 50 pounds, 100 pounds, 300 pounds of wheat,
I think they're
hard wheat,
prepared
and they're like,
for it.
yeah, I'm good to go. And they've done nothing to know how to prepare it and use it.
Yeah.
They don't use it in the normal diet. Guess what? They're going to have shutdown issues. They're going to get clogged up. They're going to have
Constipation,
diarrhea. I mean,
yeah.
they're going to have so many fun issues that suck
Yeah.
if they're not preparing and using those things now. So get the things you use. Otherwise, you're going to be in a world of hurt.
Mm-hmm. So I think for 2017, really focus on we're going back to the basics. We're going to start back talking about the basics first next year, and it will be our third calendar year on the radio. So I'm really excited about that. It's quite a milestone for us. And as you can see, we're still newbies at this because I talk too fast. So it's just
Slow down.
I'm just new, but I have so much I want to give and want to teach you guys and share with you what I've learned. And before the show's over, we're talking about just having something. And so for me, another thing that's really important just to have is you need to have some way to protect your food and your family. Have a firearm. And I know that can be controversial to some people. Even some people within my family say, you know what, I'm not comfortable with firearms. I'm not comfortable, and I took the day yesterday to take my daughters out shooting. And some of them aren't very comfortable with that yet, but we're starting. And the key is to have something. Again, have something. Have a shotgun. Have a handgun. Have something. And in my opinion, it doesn't matter what caliber. Have something.
Well, and it also comes down to what are you comfortable with, but fortify your home, fortify your family.
Yes.
The first thing you need to do is make sure that your home is more secure, right?
Strong
Making
locks.
sure your broken window latches, your door locks are fully functional.
And don't leave your windows open. Don't leave your doors open.
Especially during the winter because it's cold.
Well,
But,
yeah.
I actually saw a video yesterday of a guy that had a deer jump through his window into his house. So, they're cold. They want a warm place to be too. But make sure your home is secure, that you've got the basics covered. That all your door latches, your window latches, your sliding glass door latches, that they all work first and foremost.
I like to make our home a safe place for my kids to come to. They can feel comfortable there and completely safe.
Absolutely. So we're almost out of time. So I want to kind of finish off the show with a couple of statements. One, whatever you're doing, take a minute to do a little more. It's not much. It doesn't take much time, doesn't take much money to get better prepared. Get it done. Number two, shout out to Mills Crenshaw, who just recently passed away. He's the kickoff that got us on the air. If it weren't for him and my, I think, 15 interviews with him, we wouldn't be here. So thank you, Mills. Thank you, K-Talk. Thank you, Survival-Medical. Check them out, survival-medical.com, to get all your first aid equipment. And tune in next week. We'll be back with some Prepper Basics.
See you next week.